What's going on, New York Giants fans? Hit Squad back at it with another video. And the New York Giants have a football game this Sunday, and I, for one, cannot be more excited for the New York Giants this season. Now, I know a lot of you guys are feeling the same way, and what a way to kick off the NFL season than primetime divisional matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Football Giants. Now, there's a lot to talk about in this video, and before we do, quickly, if you have not already, join the Hit Squad, hit that subscribe button, leave a like and your thoughts below because I really want to hear what you guys are thinking about this week's matchup and this upcoming season, which is looking like it could be a very good one. But let's get into this video. Now, let's be honest here. The Giants have not fared well against the Dallas Cowboys in recent memory. You know, we don't have a good record against Dak. You know, that defense is a top 3 defense in my opinion. That offense, I believe, was the #1 ranked offense last year. And when you look at Dallas, they made significant improvements to their team. Let's just call it how it is. You signed a Brandon Cooks who provides a nice speed and reliability to the Dallas Cowboys on the offensive side of the ball. You then go and get Mozzie Smith, who can help, you know, their run defense. Then you get a Stephon Gilmore, who still has some juice to him in the secondary. So Dallas made adjustments. But so did the New York Giants. And in my honest opinion, I think the New York Giants had one of the best off seasons out of most teams in the NFL. And I'm trying to really hide my bias here, but when you look at the value, when you look at the players that they added, when you look at the key positions of need that they needed to attack and how they attacked it and filled those holes, I mean, you just have to be thrilled with where this Giants team is going and how well this roster is being put together. Now, when you look at this Giants team, in my honest opinion, they are, at least on paper, from what we're seeing, a much better football team than what we've seen in recent years. They are absolutely a much better football team on paper than what we had last year going against the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, you make a big offseason acquisition in getting a Darren Waller via trade. You get Jalen Hyatt in the draft, Deonte Banks in the draft, your center, John Michael Schmitz in the draft, Bobby Okereke in the offseason. You trade for Isaiah Simmons. Then you have a rookie in Trey Hawkins who's looking like this year's Tariq Woolen possibly if he can hold up. And I have to be honest here. I see a lot of Cowboys fans talking about how this is going to be an easy game for Dak Prescott and crew. And it's possible. You know, rookies are going to have their hurdles. You know, they're going to have, their pains, in the league. You know, it is a hard position. But this secondary is looking very well. These rookies are playing at a pretty good level. And I think that, with Deonte Banks, he's looking locked down. Trey Hawkins is looking locked down. You look at the coaching staff, and you got to give a lot of credit to this coaching staff. Let's just be very clear here. Wink Martindale, Jerome Henderson, they're able to get these guys coached up very well. Andre Patterson, and speaking primarily on the secondary, Jerome Henderson, he was able to work with lesser talent last year and had our secondary looking fairly well. And now with better pieces in there, Jason Pinnock, who's looking very well, Dane Belton, who dropped a couple interceptions last year, but easily could have had quite a few interceptions, and we have a different perspective on them now if that happens. You look at the defensive line. The New York Giants struggled with stopping the run. You sign a Bobby Okereke at the linebacker position, who's a sideline-to-sideline linebacker, who's also good in the run game as well as coverage. You sign an A'Shawn Robinson. You sign a Rakeem Nunez-Roches. You sign a Boogie Basham via trade. I mean, this interior, this run defense, from what it's looking like, at least on paper, could be a much better unit. Now, in terms of, getting to the quarterback, I'll always trust that Wink will scheme up these guys, especially with adding Isaiah Simmons. I mean, this defense, in my honest opinion, has the potential to be a top 5 defense. Now, in my opinion, this isn't going to be an easy game for the New York Giants. This isn't going to be an easy game whatsoever. It's never going to be easy against a division rival. But, Dallas, Mike McCarthy's on a hot seat right now. I know they won't say that, but he really is. I mean, Dallas is looking to prove something competing with Philly. And while I don't think the New York Giants are quite where Philly is at yet, I do think that they did close that gap on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Giants offense has to get off to a fast start. Daniel Jones, I mean, a lot of eyes are going to be on him, especially with, that contract that he was given this offseason. And a lot of people are going to be wondering, was he worth that contract? Now, you look at the weapons that were provided to him this offseason: Paris Campbell, Jalen Hyatt, Darren Waller. I mean, speed all around. speed all around. And one thing the New York Giants have that a lot of teams in the NFC, if not all the rest of the teams in the NFC East, can't say, is that they have their coaching staff all coming back. Dallas lost Kellen Moore. Eric Bieniemy joins Washington. Both coordinators from Philly leave and get head coaching jobs. So the camaraderie is going to be there. The chemistry is going to be there. And I really do believe that we're going to see this team take a big step forward. But let's not kid ourselves. Right now, the New York Giants have to be better in the division. You get swept by Dallas and Philly. You tie with Washington. You win one game against Washington. That's unacceptable. We got into the playoffs last year because we played these tight-knit games. The team got together. We were able to come back in certain games and really just shock the league, in my opinion. And, while the Giants, I believe, could do that this year in terms of winning these closer games, you don't want to really rely on that. And I think that we're going to see a lot more points scored, especially in the red zone. Darren Waller's looking unguardable. You saw that in OTAs. You saw that in the preseason. Then you also look at Daniel Bellinger, who's looking to have a big year this year. Then you look at, these wide receivers. Again, there's speed everywhere. Mike Kafka and Brian Dable are drawing up an offense that's just creative. It's fun. He's getting these receivers wide open. And I believe that Daniel Jones will be able to take that next step forward. And really, I think we're going to see this kid shine. Now, the offensive line has to hold its part, right? John Michael Schmidt's the rookie. He's looking fairly solid. Right tackle, can Evan Neal take a step forward and be a better right tackle than he was last year? Who, let's be real, we all remember that Dallas Cowboys game. He was horrible in that game. I'm sure he's, circling this game to be better and, to really show that he's taking that next step forward. We know where Andrew Thomas is, but the interior is where right now the biggest concern is. Mark Lewinsky, there's some fans that don't want him in the lineup, and I completely understand that. Ben Bredeson is our best offensive lineman in terms of the interior at the moment. But, this offensive line is going to be tested, and I think that they have been getting tested, all offseason because they're going against this New York Giants defense that has Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari, and a wizard of a defensive coordinator in Wink Martindale. So the offensive line, I believe, will be ready, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this New York Giants team will come out and attack this Dallas Cowboys team. So, it's going to be a good one. I do have this New York Giants team winning. Now, it's bound to happen. We haven't fared well again against the Dallas Cowboys, but it's bound to happen. The Giants are due for a win against the Dallas Cowboys, and I believe in the Brian Dable era, this will happen. And I'm very, very excited. I don't want to put a score on it, but if I had to, 28-24. I think the New York Giants win this game Sunday night. It's going to be a really good one. Again, we have to be better in the division, but it all starts week 1. You look at week 2, you look at week 3. Those are winnable games, but obviously week 3 is not going to be the easiest game against San Francisco, but we can't afford to get off to a slow start. And what better way to, start off the season than a win against Dallas? So let us know your thoughts below. Also, before we go, this Friday, we are going to be having on Tony Goat Romo, for the Giant Breakdown. Join us. I'm going to need all of Giants Nation there. We're going to be talking about Sunday's matchup, and it's going to be a really good one. It is going to be an amazing one, and I can't wait. Let us know your thoughts below, and we'll see you guys on the next video.